What's going on, guys? Medic on Duty is my name, and I honestly don't know what the game will be for this particular gameplay commentary. I'll just throw something together, put it on the video when I'm done recording this, and we'll see how it goes. But oh gosh, it's been a long time since I've done a commentary. A long time, mainly just because and there are a few reasons for that. One, I live in Central Connecticut, so we got we had to deal with Hurricane Irene, and well, we lost power. We lost power. Irene came around like Sunday, early Sunday. We lost power around midnight Saturday. So we didn't have power until Wednesday. That was when CLNP got the. That was when they got the power back online. Oh, and one thing I also want to get away real quick is that if I sound weird when I make this, I am sick a little bit. I've got a cold, so hopefully I'll get over that soon. So anyway, moving on, or not on, back to what I was talking about. We we were without power for 4 days, Sunday till Wednesday, and during that time we did get some rain. And the way it works in my house, our basement floods pretty much on a yearly basis. So and we have these sump pumps to keep the basement cleared. Only with the power out, we didn't have electricity to run the pump, so our basement flooded, and so we actually had to bail water for a while until one of our neighbors very nicely brought over a generator so we could run so we could run the so we could run the pumps. And then it was a whole big deal. School got delayed, and that was actually the other reason that I kind of wanted to apologize for not making this commentary sooner, because I just started school Wednesday, the first. No, the first. No, fuck. Sorry, the 6th. I started the 6th. So from now on, my time for making these commentaries is going to be extremely limited. So I don't know when I'm going to get these up on a consistent basis. So expect for there to be I may be able to upload a few videos in a short amount of time, and then I might not upload a video for about a month. So that's what I'm kind of talking about. So anyway, moving on from that, I said in previous videos that I'm not subscribed to a lot of people, but one of the people I am subscribed to is Ukrainian Limbs. I'm subscribed to both his main channel, which is called obviously Ukrainian Limbs, and then his backup channel, Ants in My Pants. And then recently he made a video on his second channel, which pretty much explained why. In case you didn't know, there was a competition. I believe it was earlier this year, around the spring, March, April, that time period. Well, I have to say March because it's called March. It was called March Madness, and this was a collaboration between the main part of it was a collaboration between Ukrainian Limbs and Woody's Gamertag. And if you don't know the story, I will spoil the end of it. In fact, that it didn't really work out between the two of them. Limbs eventually left the tournament. He didn't want to be associated with it, and he kind of explained in that video. It was essentially what happened before stuff got blown out of proportion, not like on Twitter and stuff, because that's where a lot of the drama happens, unfortunately, nowadays. So he explained that it worked off pretty well, but there were some sorry, but he had some best way the most polite way I can describe it is he had creative differences with Woody's Gamertag about how stuff should be done, and eventually Woody wanted the videos to be uploaded, the promo videos. They made these promo videos for it that got everywhere, and Woody wanted them uploaded by a certain time, so that's like noon or 1 o'clock, so that the people over in Europe could view them at a reasonable hour, which is understandable. I suppose, in a sense. But then and that was alright. But then stuff kept mounting, and at one point Limbs was just made these like commentator like matchup videos so that like all the commentators could be matched up against one another. So like it was like all these like fancy stuff like with stats and stuff. They had transitions and everything. He really put a lot of time and effort into making them, but the problem was that when he put so much time and effort into making these cool videos that they didn't get uploaded at that noon to 1 slot that Woody wanted them to get uploaded at. They got uploaded much later than that, like at 3 to 4, and they had a pretty big argument over it, to the point where at one point Woody just straight up told him "fuck you," which I don't know. I don't profess to know Woody personally. I can obviously say I don't. But even for me, just what I've seen of his personality, I mean, he's always seemed like a nice guy, even though I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he does. But even that seems a little extreme for him. And at that point, it became very clear to Ukrainian Limbs that he and Woody weren't seeing eye to eye on a lot of stuff. So at that point, he said, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm mentally out of it. I really don't want to keep doing this. I'm not having fun doing this," and he pulled out of it. And and from then a lot of stuff got blown out of proportion. There was an episode of Painkiller already where Woody had Hutch and Guns for Hire on. And after they got off, he really started bashing Limbs, just like saying that he was like crawling up other people's backs to get attention. And at one point, this wasn't on Painkiller already, but like he kind of accused Limbs of stealing, in a sense, his subscribers, because because Limbs and Woody were doing this together. Like it's logical to admit that some of Woody's subs hadn't heard of Limbs, so like, oh, well, let's subscribe to this guy. So I honestly think for Woody's point there, that Limbs was pulled out just to steal subs from him, I think that point's bullshit, to be frank. I think that was him just trying to be nitpicky, trying to pick an excuse so that he doesn't look like an asshole, to be frank. Sorry about that. I really am feeling a little bit under the weather. Sorry. But I don't know. This was just kind of I don't know. In a sense, it's new to me because I knew a little bit that Limbs and Woody were working together on this work together in March Madness, but I didn't know that for lack of a better word, they had a fallout, and I didn't know essentially the whole reasoning behind it and how stuff got blown out of proportion. And before I go on, I just want to say that Limbs, in his commentary, he did take responsibility for some of the bad stuff that went back and forth. He did say that he went after Woody on Twitter a little bit, which I don't know. I always think it's kind of low when people do that, when they attack someone over the internet, because then the person who's being attacked essentially has nowhere to hide. They can't just pretend it's not happening. They kind of have to respond, if you know what I mean. Sorry. But I honestly think that Woody handled the situation very poorly. And that I think is being polite. Some other people would probably say stronger things, but to be honest, I think Woody handled that situation very poorly. He didn't give Wings the credit, not Wings, he didn't give Limbs the credit, essentially, for being deserved. And so, I understand that Woody, he's in this to make money. He has a schedule for things, but just reacting like that, to the point where you openly go someone who worked his ass off to create these awesome intros for you, and you'll just say because he didn't get them in on time, you just say fuck you to him. I mean, not only is that unprofessional, but that's pretty low. And I think that if I was in Lim's position, I'd do exactly what he did. I'd feel exactly like he did, because like if I had put essentially a good chunk of time into making these pretty good transitions, actually trying to make them with quality, instead of trying to get them up on time, and the person I'm working with just simply says, "Fuck you! You didn't get these videos up on time. We're not going to get them up on time. We're going to miss Europe. You're a piece of shit for doing this. Fuck you." Then uh, I would take that as I would take that personally. I would do what Limbs did. I would get the hell out of there. So in the end, I don't really blame Limbs for what he did. And essentially, I think Woody handled that situation very poorly. And more importantly, and just the whole thing about just the whole thing about him just like accusing Limbs of essentially just selling out, of being a name whore, of associating his name with someone big like Woody's gamer tag just so he can get more views. I mean, that's low. That's probably even lower than just saying "fuck you" to him, even after he spent all this time getting these cool transitions ready. I think that was pretty low, because I've been subscribed to Limbs for a long time, and I've seen it, because like he isn't in this for money. He isn't in this for subscribers. He's in this purely to have fun. And for Woody to accuse Limbs of doing anything otherwise, I think it's just laughable, because stuff like that. What can I really say? It doesn't make sense. So, someone who loves what he does, who doesn't care about money, and suddenly you're trying to make the credible accusation that this guy's a view whore, that this guy's selling out, that this guy is stealing other people's subscribers to get famous. That's underhanded, and I think Woody should be ashamed of himself for doing that. But the other thing that I thought that was kind of interesting that Limbs brought up in his video is that we live in our gameplay commentary community. There's a lot of incredibly personal stuff that goes on, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. Because essentially, if people want to be open to their subscribers, I am perfectly fine with that. I am perfectly okay with people being open with the people who've subscribed to them. That's their choice. I'm not gonna have any say in that. But it seems as if I know this is the internet, but it seems that people are are a little too quick, in my personal opinion, to resort to personal attacks, to resort to name calling, to accuse someone of being a sellout, of all this petty name calling that stuff like that makes me not proud to be a gameplay commentary. I'm just gonna come up and say it, but stuff like that, people doing that, that mudslinging aspect of this community, I don't appreciate that. I don't like that. If there's one thing I could change in this community, I would change that. And this wasn't really all that pertaining to the overall topic of his video, but if you just for those of you out there who are part of this community, just keep that in mind, that stuff doesn't have to be made personal. Even though someone chooses to be open with their subscribers, with their viewers, that doesn't mean you need to be personal when you say stuff. So anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on the whole Ukrainian Limbs March Madness tourney. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. I also just want to ask you guys, if you were in Limb's position, what would you have done? Would you have stuck through with it? Would you have backed out like he did? Would you have, I don't know, what would you have done, essentially? So anyway, guys, that's all I really have to say. Please leave your answer to that question in the form of a comment. Subscribe if you want to see more content when I get around to uploading it, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.